Dear students, good afternoon, and we have hardly more 2 days to go. And there is a notification now that our summer vacation will start from 16th to 31st of May. So before 15th or 16th, we'll have to finish up our course. And we had very little time, but in spite of the paucity of time, we could cover almost all the topics. 20% you are supposed to study by yourself. 2 or 3 parts of a unit I have told you to study and prepare notes by yourself. We have not we discussed in the class, but again we repeat about the rights. So, first, let us discuss what the right is. What does the word right means? What is the concept of right? Rights are actually socially established rules, politically established rules, and administratively established rule or ways of acting. And these are ways of being treated. Through these rules, an individual of a society may be treated. Rights are legal, social, or ethical principles of freedom or entitlement. Rights are legal, social, or ethical principles of freedom or entitlement. That is rights. They are the fundamental normative rules about what is allowed of people or owed to people according to some legal system, social convention, or ethical theory. So this is very important for your multiple choice question type, both in one type of question or two type of question or four questions having number 4. And we have heard that this time your examination will be totally based on MCQ type of question papers. So I repeat again, therefore, the rights are legal, social, or ethical principles of freedom or entitlement. That is, rights are the fundamental normative rules about what is allowed by of people or owed to the people according to some legal system. The government also owes something to the people, and people are also in a position to follow certain rules according to the legal system that prevails. Then those rules may be based on social convention and or ethical theory. So human rights. Human rights are the basic rights and freedom to which all humans are entitled. Keep it in your mind. Human rights are the basic rights and freedom to which all humans are entitled. Rights and freedom, which are often thought of human rights, include civil and political rights, such as the right to life and liberty, freedom of expression, and equality before the law, and social, cultural, and economic rights also. So, the second part is very important. When we talked about the rights are those things what is allowed of people or owed to people according to some legal system, social convention, or ethical theory. This is very important. Next very important point is the human rights. Now, what is human rights? The rights related to the human beings, which allows the human beings to lead a very systematic and disciplined life. Rights also are associated with certain rules. If those rules are violated, then your rights may be taken away under some circumstances, because your right cannot be absolute rights. So these things are very important for you to remember. So, now come to the concept of legal right. Not legal right, concept of the civil right. And we have discussed everything in the class, but before that, can you say what a right is? And when we talked about the human rights, we talked that human rights are the basic rights and freedom to which all humans are entitled. Rights and freedom which are often thought of human rights include civil and political rights, such as the right to life and liberty, freedom of expression, and equality before law, and also social, cultural, and economic rights. Now, the women's rights. Certain rights are specially provided for the development of the underprivileged women. And women's rights are the fundamental human rights that are enshrined by the United Nations for every human being on the planet nearly 70 years ago. Remember, the women's rights are the fundamental human rights. And these rights were enshrined by the United Nations. You know, everyone knows about United Nations, and these laws were, not laws, fundamental human rights for the women were enshrined by the United Nations for every human being on the planet. And these rights were included about 70 years ago, more than 70 years ago actually. These rights include right to live free from violence. A woman has a right to live free from violence. Slavery. The women cannot be made slaves. They cannot be victims of distortion. The women are to be educated, and they have every right to property, and they are also entitled to equal wage. Now, here we can bring certain points which you learned in the social security system. In the social security system, you have found that the government of India has made certain provisions for equal pay for both men and women for equal type of work. So now let us come to the concept of civil right. We know about the political rights, but what the civil rights are.